Hello there, I'm glad you've decided to join me on this small quest. Whenever I tell anyone I enjoy playing shorter games, today's title always gets mentioned. I've been told time and time again that I need to play it, and that the game will stay with me long after the credits. A lot of hype was built up in my mind before playing, but did it live up to the hype? Well, join me as we explore what remains of Edith Finch. The game centers around, as the title suggests, Edith Finch, who is going back to her childhood home. However, she's not going back to visit the folks. Far from it. Edith is in fact the last member of her family alive, so she's going back to learn more about her family's past to discover why she is the last member of her family. During your exploration around the massive Finch house, you will get to experience each story explaining each family member's death. Will you be able to assist Edith in getting the information she's looking for? Now, before I delve more into the game, I will be staying as spoiler free as I can. If there are any spoilers in this, they will be very mild, so they won't be spoilers in terms of plot, more like gameplay and things like that. Let's talk about the story for a moment. During gameplay, you get to experience each family member's story. You could say this is a bunch of stories within a story. I would call this an anthology piece like Creepshow, Twilight Zone the movie, Tales from the Crypt, you get the idea, where a bunch of stories are wrapped in an overarching theme. Incidentally, I'm surprised this hasn't been adapted into a film or TV series by now. Like most anthology pieces, some of the stories do work better than others, for one reason or another. However, all the stories are very well told and can be very creative with their storytelling. Two in particular spring to mind. First is the story of Barbara, which is told in a comic book style, and it also references a very popular anthology series. Second is Lewis's story, which is told in a video game style, and it's riddled with references to the medium. There's so much more to discover in the narrative, so I'm sure I'm not spoiling too much in mentioning what I have so far. I think this talk of stories within the story ties in nicely to talking about the design of the game. Devs Giant Sparrow have gone for a photorealism approach to the visuals. Even though this game initially came out in 2017, it's a looker, which is only amplified when you enter the house. As soon as you walk in, you really get the feeling that the house is lived in, and it all feels very natural. Yes, the house is huge and could remind you of Howl's Moving Castle with how ridiculously large it is. However, it all feels very close to home with the pictures on the wall, the furnishings, and just feels like a house you are very used to walking into. Each member of the family has their own bedroom, and these are little time capsules from just before the person sadly passed away. So when you explore a room, you really get a sense of the individual who inhabited it. There's so many little details they could have easily skipped putting into the game, but they put them in to add to the authenticity. To be honest, I could very happily spend hours wandering around the house and looking at all the little details in each room. I would even argue to say the house and the bedrooms are characters in the game too, due to the amount of care and attention that has gone into them. Now that we've talked about the story and the design, how do you go about exploring the Finch house? The controls in this are simple and to the point, as you would expect from this type of game. Some players would call this a walking simulator. However, I would say it's more like a point and click game. You explore each room, click on items to discover more information about the family. You can also interact with items like handles and such by turning the control stick. This adds to the immersion of the game. Then you will find a note or a journal entry by that particular family member, and after clicking it, you are transported into the memory of their passing. Now, there isn't a lot of interaction in this game. It's a very linear experience where you're being pretty much handheld throughout. However, as this is centered around telling stories, it works in the game's favor in a big way. I know this can be very off-putting to some though. If you like the game Gone Home, you will get very similar vibes when playing this. We come to the all-important moment, my thoughts on the game. I can happily say the hype which was mentioned at the start was matched here. I played this in one sitting as I just couldn't put it down. I wanted to learn more about the family and discover more of what the house had to offer. In short, it's a well-written tale that grabs you by the hand and takes you on a ride you don't want to leave. You can complete the game in just under 2 hours, which I feel is not a bad thing at all. I'd say this is more like an interactive movie or an experience rather than a game, but it's a damn good one. The house is a joy to wander around. The voice acting in this is wonderful, with very natural and convincing performances throughout. The music used complements the visuals with a gentle melancholic tone. However, it does know when to pull back and let the visuals and ambient sound tell the story. I'd honestly say everyone should experience this game at least once. Even this sort of game isn't your thing, as I'm sure everyone will appreciate the storytelling alone. I also agree with others in saying that this will stay with you long after the credits roll. So we've come to the end of our dive into What Remains of Edith Finch, and I'm so glad I finally played it after years and years of people constantly telling me to check it out. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, then feel free to press the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when a new video goes live or when I'm live streaming on the channel. Have you played What Remains of Edith Finch? If you have, let me know your thoughts in the comments and let me know which story was your standout. Thank you very much for watching once again, and if you like point and click games, then feel free to check out this video here where I investigated Later Alligator. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next quest.